Hello and welcome to today's session of programming, our little AI game, which is open source and using local AI, local LLM. We are currently using Ollama, and we're of course programming in Java. We are using LangChain4J as a library to communicate with our LLM, and we are hosting Ollama in a Docker container. And in this Ollama Docker container, there is currently a Qwen3 running. We started off with LLaMA 3.2, and we switch to Qwen3, and let's see how that goes, because last time we had some problems with it thinking too much, and that really became a problem because it just took a really long time for the response to arrive. So we don't want that. I have a little tweak today. I'm using Twitchit now, so comments in the chat could pop up. I'm not sure about it, if it works. I didn't try it yet, but let's see how that works out. All right, let's head into it. So if I show you this screen, there's nothing. This is not enough. 1 second. So this is the wrong monitor. Hopefully we can select the right one, which should be this one. Yes, and now you are seeing something at least. If it's the right thing, you have to judge for yourself. All right, we are here in our little Git repository. Let's bring it up there. So what we did last time was a couple of tweaks. The inventory wasn't accessing the UI. We had some problems there. So it's running on a UI thread now. We are using Vardin. If you don't know that by now, you should know it, but you know. We are using Vardin, so we have to get the UI thread basically from some UI element, and if it's present, then you run something on the UI thread here, and then you can change the UI, any GUI element asynchronously. That's the point. Otherwise, you don't have to do that if you're running on the UI thread anyways. But that's a common thing. I think with JavaFX, you have the same problems. Even with .NET and WPF, you have to do the same things. We tweaked the initial prompt a bit. We tried the system prompt, but it didn't work out. And what is it we did here? Well, okay, that is not interesting. Okay, that was the thing we did last, and we also tried the Qwen 3.1. Well, I didn't know. Okay. Qwen 3, yeah, it isn't 3.1. It's Qwen 3 with 1.7 billion parameters, I think. The reason why we chose a smaller model was because we thought, well, if we take a smaller model, the thinking gets less. And it kind of worked. It worked better than with Qwen 3. What did we... 1 second. Qwen 3, what did we use? Yeah, I think the next one would have been the 4 billion parameters one. So this worked better, and we could actually, by telling it to think well, we tried it with false. We brought it to not think, but what it really did was it was still thinking, but not telling us what it thought. So the problem remained that we had to spend a long time waiting for the response, and that's not what we want. And that was better with the LLaMA 3.2 model. But I really like the idea of thinking because the responses that came out of that thinking were really, really good. I like that. Yeah, but so we had a problem to not keep it thinking. Yeah, so I did a little coding on my own off stream, so to speak. So I found a problem in the bash script. Yeah, so I fixed that with the power of ChatGPT because I'm not an expert in that shell stuff, especially when it comes to these what do you say? These upper. Oh man, I don't know what the word of these are, but these things, right? Okay, so Catherine was watching last time, and she suggested that we could customize our own LLM model in Ollama with Ollama. So I read that stuff, and it actually isn't that difficult to create our own model, but I don't know why they call it model. I don't think it's a really own model because it's just giving some parameters with it. So it's not really creating an own model. But anyway, it is pretty easy. And I tried that. There's another example of that. So what I did was I created that model file and I called it Qwen RPG because we want to optimize that for RPG. I gave a pretty extensive system prompt where I added some things like tool calling and keep reasoning minimal. Of course, you can see that this is also ChatGPT generated because we want it to have good English for a change. No, it's just really easy, and ChatGPT knows a lot of things I do not. So we did that. So yeah, we defined what model it uses, and we want to use that model. Then some game rules. A lot of stuff from the game prompt actually, but I removed all of that. And yeah, and the parameter, some suggestions. I'm not really sure if that works well or not, but that's I think pretty much default or something. Now I think that also ChatGPT suggested that, and I just wanted to try that right now. All right, and then I edited the run Ollama script that is executed if you start up a Docker container. So it creates that model with the model file, and then it runs it. Pretty simple. Like I said, I removed the game initial prompt, and then I defined this as our model. So far, so good. But it didn't really work, and we can look that up now, what it does. All right, let's start with the Ollama container. Oh, there's a fly. 1 second. These flies. If there is a single fly, it annoys me so much. But that's the downside of summer, I guess. Let's see what the log messages say. All right, starting Ollama server, that's from our script, I think. Now it's waiting for the server to be active. And yeah, it says it's not responding, but then it waits a while and waits for it to be online. And then it's saying, well, Ollama is ready, creating the model. So it creates the model, but everything should already exist. And then it says Ollama is ready, starting the model, right? Yeah. And then it does start the model, which shouldn't take that long. Let's take a look in our task manager right now. Bring it to the resources. Yeah, our GPU, that's what we want to see. And we should see a bump at some point here. But while we wait, we can already start the model. Let's see. Start the model, start the application. That's what I meant. Obviously. Let's bring it together. So we started this one. I hope it's running. It looks like it's running. It's using actually a lot of GPU. I'm a bit confused, to be honest, why it uses so much, but we'll find out. Okay, we are here. We can do something. And now it should actually trigger a request. Maybe you can area Chrome. So, okay. Okay, as you can see now, Rio Chrome says maybe you can use Settlers of Catan as additional inspiration for your llama. I like that. That's a good idea. I played that a couple of times with my children. I'm not really sure what the lore is. I don't think there is a lot of lore, but I'm sure we can work something in. Let's hold that off for a few seconds or minutes, and let's see what actually came out of this. Okay, so we got some inventory. That's pretty cool. And well, the LLM says what our health and mana is, and it doesn't use the tools. So it has no tool calling or doesn't use it for any reason. But it does say something. All right. Oh yeah. I just saw it in your bookshelf. I have to. Okay, so that is pretty funny. That's that's actually that everybody. If I don't use my green screen, everybody notices right away this huge box of Settlers of Catan, and this is a huge box, and I just play the basic stuff, so it's kind of an overkill. Anyways, okay, so it does do tool calling. It uses this. This is great, but it doesn't use it for that. And another huge problem about this is so Mystic Clash. I don't know, but for this ASCII art that doesn't work anyways. It of course uses now the same system prompt that we gave our main RPG, our main RPG model. So this one, and this is really not a great fit because the ASCII art should be very minimalistic and doesn't need to know anything about this. So I'm not sure what we could do to that, but let's see some more prompts. Let's charge the dragon with your sword, risking a direct clash. Sure. Oh yeah, that's another thing I noticed. So if I do anything here, for the first time it kind of works, but the second time around is not good with responding. So we got some new ASCII art, which is strange to me. Okay, it's done. It's done, and it didn't give us any text. let's see at the log messages here. So these were all basically at the same time, and the response was pretty quick, but the response was pretty much empty. So I'm not sure if this is a good sign or not. All right, some response. 10 seconds, all right. And now it should produce the other response for the ASCII art. Another 10 seconds. And it says the Dragon's Challenge, and it doesn't put in anything. So maybe this has to do with this. The context is huge, isn't it? And I'm not sure if this top parameter does anything good. The temperature should be all right, about in the middle. It should range from 1 to 0. So that should be all right, but the other stuff, I'm not sure. And the stop parameter. So we could have another go at it at least to see what it does without the parameters. And then I think we should go on and try something else because, well, or maybe we could try the LLaMA 3.2 model. That's what I wanted to do today as well. But not the latest one, because we were using the latest one. If you look into the Git repository, there was something, yeah. So this was LLaMA 3.2 before, without any description of how many parameters there are. Right, here should be the same. Yeah, and if you don't specify that, then you should use the latest one, which is basically the 3 billion parameter one, so the bigger one. And we could use a smaller one and see if that works for us as well. And then we can go from there. One step after the other. All right. So this is kind of working, but not in a great way. But it stops thinking pretty much. This is cool. This is good. But yeah, the inventory also doesn't work really well. So what to do? What shall we do now? I think I want to change that. This one with the parameters, that could be changed for once. And then, is there anything else? The tool calling, available tools, so which you can use through function calls, health and mana. So it, for whatever reason, it doesn't use that, but it uses the inventory. Okay. Do not mix narrative text and JSON tools in the same message. I don't think this is a good point, because we actually encourage that. We don't want it to either call tools or write a story. We always want to write a story and do the function calls. Maybe this is something of a problem. Or maybe we should also have different calls. We could split it. We could split the call into one story part where we tell the LLM to write the story, and then in another call we say, okay, you have this text, please do the according function calls. But I think that would be problematic, like if the story says the hero got some damage, how much damage is he going to take? But that could work. All right, so I don't want this. I don't want this for whatever reason that's numbered here. Yeah, never invent that. Always prefer using a tool over guessing values. That's good. If no tool is needed, narrate the story. No. Actually, always do both. I don't think that's a good idea, really. Yeah, maybe that's a good structure. Maybe we should try that. Okay, but I want to finish this custom LLM stuff before we move on. So what we do is we go here, we are in the logs, but we can get over there and say Ollama list. Okay, Ollama remove, I think. Remove? No, delete. Ollama delete. All right. What is it? RM, of course. We are on Linux. Qwen RPG. Deleted. Wonderful. This is necessary in my mind, at least, so that if we restart it now, it will rebuild the model with the right model file, with our changed model file here. Let's do it. Start this container once again. Yeah, it should work. Yes. Yeah. We don't have to remove the whole container. So if we take a look at the logs, they are not new. Yeah, that's a problem. So this is not all new stuff here. 1829, that should be right now. Model loader, starting the model. So at some point it should have created the model, waiting, already creating the model. It's using a lot of existing layers, but at the end it should use the model file. And I think it did use the model file beforehand, so that's all right. Great. Are we done yet? No, we are not, because it also takes like 4 gigabytes. I really don't know why it takes so much. But yeah, that's the way it is. Let's refresh that. And we have our hero Hans. And now we wait. Oh, this looks great. How does that look? It's working. Yes. Well, this was a long API generate and then chat. Okay. Victory. Okay, that's great. That's the first time I actually see that victory message, because we programmed it almost at the start, but it never came to be, and now We start the game and we are victorious. That's great. You stand victorious, the ancient sword gleams in the dim light as the fiend crumbles around you. The world around you fades, leaving only the echo of your triumph. The game is over. Victory achieved. Game complete. The story ends here. Why? Okay, does it have some kind of memory I don't know about? Maybe. Let's try it once more. It must have misinterpreted something. What's up now? What is it now? Oh, it should... Yeah, it's using a lot of GPU power. So a colleague at work, he complained about how inefficient these LLMs are and how much power they use. And I mean, he's kind of right. But on the other hand, if I write that all down manually, it takes a lot of time too. The hero Hans stands at the edge of an ancient myth-shrouded forest. Stuff like that. Fight the fiend. Let's see how that goes. So there was no function called anywhere. Yeah, it wasn't. But before we had that victory and set health and mana. All right. One more time. But it becomes really heretical, right? We don't know what we get here. And that's not a good way to play a game, I think. This is taking a suspicious long time. But it has to calculate something. Is it thinking? We don't know. There's no way of knowing if it is thinking. But it's using a lot of GPU. Okay. Again, this is working somehow, but not in a good way. So I want to commit that change really quickly. Yeah. Experimenting with Qwen3 custom model. But it really didn't turn out to be quite that good. Not a problem. Yeah, push that. And then, yeah, I think we can stop this. Yeah, stop it. So that eventually it doesn't use all our GPU power. What will we do? I think we'll go back. So I like the idea of that model file. I really like that. What I don't like is if I use that, then I have to use this system prompt. And I'm not a fan of that one. But let's keep it just because we implemented it and maybe it's useful for somebody. So we take model LLaMA 3.2, but this one. Okay, I would like to have that one. This isn't a bad system prompt. Really? But it's not really universal, right? Keep reasoning minimal. We don't need this. Just plain with breaks. This is all stuff that is very specific to that adventure part, and I don't want to have that. The choices, yeah, that's all very specific. Tone, keep track, yeah, all that stuff. I think I will use this as a new game prompt. But this one is good. Yeah, and the parts I removed in the last time, I think we can use those as well. Do not mix those two. This is great. I think this is good if we are using it correctly, if no tool is needed. Yes. Yeah, just remove it all together. And just do that. If a player action requires a tool, if an action requires a tool, blah, 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 blah. Call the tool instead of describing it yourself. If no tool is needed, narrate. An unformatted text response. Only simple line breaks. And paragraphs. Okay. What's that? Formatted. Oh, I think this one, huh? Okay, if an action. All right. And we remove this completely. I don't like it. So this could mean that it's just a bit more precise now. We are still using this. We're calling it LLaMA. No, LLaMA RPG model. That's what we're here for now. We use this one and this one and that one. So far, so good. Then we change it in the application as well. And we have to use the initial prompt once again. And yeah, and copy in these things again. It is very hot in Germany today, so I have some iced drink. One iced, no, not drink. It's Coke. You are running in a low latency mode. Think less, act faster. No, that's not necessary for LLaMA, I think. These are the available tools. These are good. Okay, so we split that up into two calls. We have that initial initial text prompt, or no, story prompt, that's better. Blah, blah, blah. Each turn, any characters, example, keep track. Yeah, but never write it. So we move that out. When a tool is needed, output only. That's something we don't want. This one we throw away completely. And we put these here. Always, yeah, no. That's not something we need here. This is also something we don't need. And then we have the steps for our story, right? Health, random items in the inventory, begin the story. Yes, yes, and yes. Ensure satisfying ending. Yes. Okay, so this is our story prompt, and what I would like to have now is a tool prompt. So these are two calls now, one for the story, one for the tools. And that could clean up a lot of stuff. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We just copied the whole thing again, paste it here, and then we are throwing away stuff we don't need. First of all, you are the helper agent of an storyteller AI that that does the tool calling for the told story. All right. Game rules, we don't need this. Yes. We don't want that all. Keep track. Yes, keep track of your health, but never write it. Rather set it with tools. Yes, that's a story. Yeah, we don't need it. The adventure should be completely. Yes. We don't need this. Output format. Don't use any markdown. Yes, we truly. This is, yeah. And this one we also don't need your rules. Now this is something that should be interesting for us here. Well, right, remove this. And we're good to go. Keep reasoning minimal, don't need it. If apply action requires a tool, yes, call the tool instead. Always prefer using a tool. Yes, never invent function names. Yes. Available tools. We don't describe those because we already do that through Ollama. I don't want to do that again here. Let's keep it here. Yeah, that could work. That could be horrible, but it could work. Kill it. Kill this line. Cool. I think that's our main job today. Right. So we open the start, generate new story part. And now we do that. Yes, we want to generate this, and we want this chat model, but very similar to the generate ASCII art now, we want to have something else. Generate ASCII art with a chat model. Oh, it's creating. No. Yeah. It's creating a new chat model every time. Whew. Well. So we split that. This one is great. Let's put it in a function and generate ASCII art. I know it's the same title as here, but that's what it does. Just not for the service, but for the view, really. And this is done asynchronously. Great. But we actually want almost the same thing. Generate function calls. Story part as string. This is not the case anymore. This is finished story. And that's the same case here. So let's change that. Yes. Because that's what's actually going on. And it's creating this chat model with out memory, but with tools. We want the tools now. Yeah, we actually don't want those tools. That's great. So if we generate the new story part, at some point, we will... we are creating the chat model. Let's take a look at that chat model when it's created. And here we have this hero communicator. And actually, we don't want that anymore. Because this now is a stupid storytelling mechanism. Whew, I hope this works. Otherwise, this will be a lot of work to undo again. Well, no, it isn't, because we can just git reset, but it would be a lot of unnecessary work, right? Think true. Yeah, we don't care about that with Llama 3.2. Let's go into this generate SKR, generate new. Oh, yeah. We are in the wrong area here, my friend. Chat view, yes. So here we go. Generate. What does that actually do? It doesn't have anything to do with SKR. Right? There's no reason why it should be called that. What's the other one called? Generate new story part. And here we have generate new chat response. Pretty easy. But here we want the hero communicator. What's going on here? What's the second thing? The text prompt. Oh yeah. Now here we have the tool prompt. We don't need it formatted because there are no placeholders. And now we can define what's it doing with the response, and that's actually nothing. It doesn't have to do anything because it handles everything with this hero communicator, and we actually just can really do nothing here. Ooh, that's interesting. If this works, it could be good. Hey, that's always a finished story. Even here. Boy. Here we go. Great. So this is fun. I like it. We have this one story that is written down, and then after that the SKR is generated and the function calls are generated. This is much more structured. Yes, but we need to have that formatted with the finished story, because otherwise it just does some tooling. You are the helper agent of a storyteller AI that does the tool calling for the told story. And now we have to do, yeah, we have to remove this and told, no, story for the tool calling. Is this good? I'm not sure, but it is what it is. Here we go. Is this good? No, we just leave it here. We just say here, give that the story. Right? Fun. Very fun and interesting. I didn't think we would go there today. This is completely unexpected. Probably for you too. But this is all right. We stop this. We start Ollama once again. So it should load this new model. Oh man, we have to download it. Damn it. But it's pretty small, so this should work fast. Yeah. I like that very much. And so if this works somehow, we don't have a lot of, we don't need a lot of GPU memory, hopefully, which means we could put stable diffusion in there as well. And that was actually my goal for today. Yeah, but you see how these things turn out to be. Okay, is there anything else we could do meanwhile? I have a little to-do list. I think I'll make some kind of a board on Trello or something where you can see what's on my to-do list in what priority, even though it changes very dynamically, as you can see. But one thing would be the game persistence, so that we set up, I'm not sure about this. Maybe you can say your opinion here. Shall we set up a little Postgre database to persist all that data? Or shall we use an H2 database? I think the overall overhead shouldn't be a lot. Doesn't matter if we use H2 or Postgre, but if we use Postgre, I think it's more sophisticated because it's already a real database, and setting it up with a Docker Compose is really easy to do. Yeah, write that your opinion in the chat. Riocrom, you are live. You can you could also say what you would like. What would you prefer? Okay, let's start that application once again and see. At some point it should increase. That's looking good. Yes, we have some RAM usage, and we can refresh our new adventure. Still, default hero name is Hans. I'm very much grown fond of that name. Okay, invalid security key. Hello? What? Socket is closed. Ah, does not support thinking. Yeah, that's perfectly all right. Who told you to think? Who told you that? Did I tell it that with this little call, this one, is the default value false? Not set. Reasoning LLM will prepend thoughts. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that's what. Oh, we said think true. Yeah, okay. My mistake. Flays. Whew. Today was a long day, really. I know it's not an excuse. Riochrome only works with SQLite and Oracle, so sadly no idea here. Well, yeah, I think SQLite is more in the area of H2, and Oracle is more in the direction of Postgre. Even though I think Oracle fans might disagree. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Postgre just because I like setting up Docker Compose files with Postgre. It's so easy and quite fun. Okay, we are pretty fast. Again, this is very nice. We have our trademark cat ASCII art finally back. we have the H for Hans. Yeah. And what we don't have is any options. Yes. This is bad. You're triggering the trigger with one choice. I'll respond accordingly. Thanks. Just I love the ASCII art of Llama. Maybe we should use Qwen for that, just for the art. No, but in all honesty, maybe we can really use stable diffusion. But again, we don't get any choice, and that's not something I find tolerable. This is quite all right. It did some function calling. If we take a look at the log files, there should be some. Right? There was some function calling. Don't tell me otherwise. What? This one. We had some system. Oh, I should really replace that with a logger. Don't we have a logger here already? Oh no, we don't. What's that? Oh yeah, the image prompt. Oh, that was a mess all on its own. And we don't say anything, so we just say this tool has been executed. It should be set health or something. Health. Nope. Nothing. Okay. If you don't want that. Generate. 1 second. 1 second. Here we generate this. If tool is not null, we add the tools. But what we don't have here. Oh yeah, okay. We have that on tool executed logout only if we are using that generate new story part. So we could leave that in. Whatever. Okay, but there was some function calling going on and it didn't work out quite well. But what it did not do was give us some choices, and it's pretty clear. And allowing the player to choose what the hero does next. This is pretty clear. But the LLM has different ideas. Maybe it's too heated. The temperature is too high. Do you have to tell the storyteller to actually ask his assistant? I don't think so, because we are actually here we have that story part, and we give that complete story part to our trusted tool calling AI. So generate function calls receives the completely finished story part, so everything here, and will generate tool calling from that, so setting the health and the mana, stuff like that. But the actual story AI doesn't know anything about the tool calling AI, and that's why we don't tell him to do anything with tooling, but we actually say that it has to present 2 to 4 clear choices for the player, and that's, well, it's kind of annoying to me right now. Completely satisfying ending. Yes. Yes. Tone. Don't use any markup. Yes, I like that. And it doesn't do that. The choices fields contain a maximum of 4 options. Are we using this? I think so. I think we are, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is the absolute beginning. And this is using, why don't we say it should use the chat model? because it's, yeah, it's here. So it does use the chat model, right? With the, I'm just wondering because it might be the case that it doesn't remember things, but it should. Hmm. Strange. Step 1, initialize the hero. Is this maybe... Yes, this could be a problem. And then step 2. So let's do that here. So we are... So this step 1 is rather difficult to initiate. This is the initial tool prompt, but it's actually not the initial one. We need an initial one. And this is just a default. Let's call it default tool prompt. And the initial one is another addition. Does the tool assistant write back into the finished story? No, it does not. Is this a problem? It could be. This is a very good point. Because the tool assistant might say, well, you are dead. And the other LLM doesn't know about it. But I think in most cases it should work fine. Let's back that up as well, but this is a great point. I like it. And thank you for participating that much. That's really great. Yeah, so what I was missing, or am I missing right now, is this step 1. Where is it? I just removed. Here we go. Initialize the hero name with, yeah, but actually we don't need this. The hero with full health, mana, and some random items in the inventory. Again, this is a problem because that's not in the text. And then the story LLM doesn't know about that. Initialize the hero with full health and mana. That's it. That's it. Is this a good idea? I don't know. Yeah. It's getting more difficult by the second. Yeah. This is good. Begin the story. Also mention the tools. No, the equipment meant the hero has in his inventory and is wearing. So this other LLM could see, oh well, he's wearing a hat. Let's put that in the inventory. But initialize the hero with full health. I think we don't even need that because that's just a given. Yeah, we don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, let's try that once more. And I don't know where time goes when I do this. This is really always such a tiny time slot for some reason. All right. This is all great. Yes, what do you do? I don't know what we changed that this works now. You died. Why? Oh yeah, the health is gone. Okay. Maybe we should mention that this should be initialized for the first time. All right. That's so funny to me. To me, at least, it's funny. So for the first part, generate a new... No, this is not the first part. No, this is the first part. What's going on here? Found one expected 0. Why? Oh, yes. Begin the story. Stakes are high. The hero's name. That's what this thing is. Okay. All right. That's a good catch from the IDE, actually. Okay. Generate new story part. That's great. But for the first time, which is the initial story part, we should actually handle this a tiny bit different. Can we do that? Or can we say, okay, let's try it another way. Also mention the equipment. Mention that our hero has full health and mana. And also mention the equipment. Okay, one last try for today. But I think it worked out pretty fun. Yeah, it's a fun idea. Let's try it again. Still Hans. Hans stands at the edge of a dense and foreboding forest, his eyes fixed on a figure in the distance. He doesn't want to stop. Stop. This is too long. And you forgot our choices. Simply forgot that. What's this now? Cannot invoke. Get tools executors? What? Oh. Is it calling? Yeah. That's maybe a problem with the small LLM, that it not always works perfectly. Hey, come on. Let's try it one more time. Do we see any inventory mentioned? What does Hans do next? Well, we don't know because you're not giving us any options. Yeah, but it doesn't look good for the tool calling. Oh, okay. It's just going on. Stands. What? We can't. We actually implemented that I can't text, that I can't input any text. What doesn't make sense in this context now. So basically, we really broke the game. but we were victorious. Yeah. There are a couple of things we could change, but not today. Today, we are celebrating that this game was victorious. Let's commit these changes because they are so great and work perfectly. We need this to work. Yeah, this is edit custom LLMA 3.2 1.7 the model. This is the first one, and the second one is all of this. Yeah. Now split the storytelling from function calling. Works perfectly. Nah, just kidding. We don't do that because it's shit right now. But that's perfectly fine. That's what we are here to do. A little experimenting. Yeah, and a lot of times it doesn't work, but that's perfectly fine. So what I want to try next time, like two main things. One of those we can do, not both. One thing is I would like to add persistency, which I wanted to add since the second session, I think. And the other thing would be to add stable diffusion, which we already kind of implemented, but not completely. That would be interesting as well. You could vote if you what you want to see next. That would be cool if anybody has any opinion. If not, that's perfectly fine too. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you Ariochrome for still joining this stream. It's always fun, and it's so nice to have some interaction. That's what I really want. That's what's really nice about this. Thank you for watching.